Hello and welcome, people of the internet. This is TheMan354, and I'm going to be doing a review of Space Empires 5. This is an older game. Maybe some of you have heard of it. Maybe some of you have played it. Maybe some of you have no clue what it is. Well, I'll tell you. It is a turn-based space strategy game with real-time combat in it. What do I mean by real-time combat? Well, I mean that if you have two fleets of ships that are fighting each other, you'll actually be able to control those ships. It'll open up a different window, or not a different window, go into a different, game entirely in the game, and you'll be able to tell them where to go, and they'll go and they'll shoot at each other. Now, I'm not saying this game is perfect, but it is pretty good, and I like playing it. So that's why I'm doing a review. So let's click a new game. Standard is fine. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of selection in the options. Though I wish this would not be like that, I don't think there's anything to scroll here, but if there was nothing to scroll, why would it be like that, right? Well, there's nothing to scroll there, at least as far as I know. So as we look over here, you can have different shaped maps, and you can actually generate the map to see what it looks like before you begin playing. What you can also do is put start locations. Say you and your friend wanted to play, but you wanted to be as far apart as you possibly could before you began playing. So you'd go to starting positions and you'd click, I don't know, here and here, and that's it. So that's the two starting positions. You can also load and save maps. Say you found a map that you really like and you save it and you can load it for later. Empires, for the settings for all players, is extensive. You can change all sorts of stuff like the technology points, racial points, if the AI are allowed to cheat, who can view scores, all sorts of stuff. Number of starting planets, the home planet value, the cost of research. If you set it low, the game will go faster research-wise. You set it high, take longer to research things. In the game options, you got a lot of stuff like the maximum units per person, which I recommend if you're on a low-end computer to keep in the 100s to 500 range. If you got a really good computer, you can go down here and pick things insane. Change the amount of spaceships that each person can have, which is different than units. I think units include fighters and troops, while the ships are just ships. You can actually enable cheat codes. So maybe you and a friend are playing and you wanna cheat. Just hopefully he doesn't find out, otherwise he might look up some cheat codes and you got two people cheating. You can also remove the tactical combat, which is the real-time element of the game, if you so choose. You can also turn on team mode, which is awesome. You can set up a master password, multiplayer save, and a directory plan. You can have it be a hot seat or different machines. You can change the victory conditions on how you win. Oh, I do not. Oh, yes, you can. You can put it on different ones too. So I believe it's either or when you pick 2 or more. You don't need to this. You either win by research or you win by expansion. I don't think it's you have to have both, though I might be wrong. So if we go back to empires, I can create a new empire. It's very interesting. You can customize pretty much everything about your race, from your flag to what type of ships you're flying, to your name, your empire type, your title, and your name. All this here you don't need to worry about unless you're doing a online game. You can also select random to have a truly unique race and leader. You can change your that's odd. Change what your race name is, what their pictures look like, so how they look. A very interesting thing to mention though is that there are humans, but there are also animals and or species that look nothing like humans, which is very I'm not trying to say unique to this game, but not many other games do this. Most games they do things like this guy here or this guy, where as they look like humans but they're different. In this game you got aliens that don't have any arms or legs or a head as we know them, like these guys here. You can actually change your government. What the heck is going on with my background? That's weird. Which will affect certain things. You can also change your society, which will also affect your race. You can also have race traits. You can have negative traits to get you more points. Or you can have positive traits, which will increase your gathering, increase environmental resistance, all sorts of things. And you can also choose what technologies you have if in the options you add technology points to beginning players. So, say you wanted the game to go really fast. You start off with a bunch of resources, a bunch of planets, and a whole bunch of research already picked out. You're going to be able to get big ships really quickly. You're going to have a lot of fighting really soon, especially if you pick a small map. On the other hand, you can go the slow way, like I have set up, and see who can manage their planets better. Maybe you can sacrifice some research here and there in order to maybe produce more ships and attack them early. And it'll add a lot more strategy to the game. You can also add history elements to your and descriptions to your race, though you can't see it because Empire setup is kind of buggy, I guess, right now. So let's create that empire. So all this is good. If you're wondering about AI players, right here it says the number of computer players. You can change how much. It's sort of annoying that you can't set exactly how many AIs there are, but oh well. When did I set this to a multiplayer? Oh, that's it. Silly me. So, it's creating it. Another thing that I find annoying in this game is it's hard to move from system to system. And also that you don't get any default ships, so that you have to actually design every ship you use. Some might say, well, that's a plus. Others might say, everyone knows what type of colony ship you're gonna build. Why not just let you build the colony ship, though it does have an autofill feature in the ship construction tab. So if I scroll down, come over here, see that there's my planet right there. Got my flag, everything's good. Got research points. Another thing I'm going to talk about is the research, which they took a very interesting thing, I believe. They made it a percent system, so you can actually research multiple things and choose how much you want to research in each field. So I can set 10 to culture, and then because I like energy weapons and shields, the rest of my research into physics. So each of these will take 0.2 years, or 0.2 and 0.3 years. But I'm spending a lot more on this. So like, say I went, I don't know, 15 instead. I went 15 physics. Maybe I want to do some ice colonization first. I can do that, instead of how in other games you're only allowed to research one thing at a time, which I think is very constricting. So like, you can do research on a lot of things. You might want to heavily research something and then switch it off right after it's done researching, but maybe you want to get started on something. You can get started like putting a couple percent in medical treatment, for instance. So like 9, it takes 1 turn, but if you put it to 1, it takes 0.8. Maybe after a while of researching, you go, maybe I want to speed this up, and then you can do that. Whereas in other games, it's pretty much pick what you want to research, you research that, and then you can go on to something else, which I already talked about. You can actually look up what you're researching, or by category. You can change the progress to percent, the cost that you put into it compared to the cost needed, or the time remaining. You think it's that each turn is 0.1 of a year, so don't be thinking that all this research is going to go really fast, like this is going to take 2 turns and that's going to take 1, not even 1. No, that's going to take 2 turns and this would take 16. So research, as you can see, can take a while, or it can be really short. It just depends on how much you research, or how much research facilities and how much you're willing to put into it. So, but there's some stuff like, just off the top of my head, colonization is expensive. Planetary engineering is expensive usually. The later versions of culture is expensive. Ships take a while to get, like light hulls. If I got this, it'd take me to get level level 10, I think, to get medium hulls, which the cost would increase as you level up. I think it like doubles or something. So it's quite costly to get new ships. So keep that in mind. Some other features I want to show you is the creation of ships, because I think that's very important in a game. And different types. Here's a combat ship, so I'm just going to make a quick one. Actually, let's see what the AI sets up for me. Let's do tech ship. And autocomplete. I guess autocomplete doesn't want to autocomplete it. Well, that's a problem. See if I can fix that. Let's do... let's see. No, best option's attack ship. Oh, well, that doesn't work, but you pretty much drag and drop. Where you see A is where you can only put armor. On the right hand you'll see either a 1 or a 0, or a O and a L if you would prefer that. And if it has both, then you can put them in both slots. But if it has only one, then you can only put it in the corresponding slot. You have to meet all the requirements for the ship to be able to hit create, which includes a name, which I will not do at this moment. And the intelligence is also an interesting part of the game. You can have a focused area, known empires, all sorts of stuff. You can steal intel, try to assassinate people, destroy stuff, all sorts. That's pretty much the major points I wanted to cover on this game. If you like it, please subscribe and thumb up. If you don't, I know you'll thumb down. If you want to see more of this game, leave that in the comments below. If you want to see a different game mentioned or have me review, put that down in the comments as well. This is TheMan354 signing out. See you all later.